Hi, this is Brian Whitaker, Whitts Ranch. See how nice she came up with my direction there, following that feel when I reached out and showed her where to go. Um, Talking about how a horse should stand when you brush and saddle and all that. They don't need to be in a tight cross tie. They don't need to be tied up tight. They don't need to be, restricted. That they should be able to stand and just hang in there while you brush and saddle them. Now, these are the times you can really explore that and find out what's going on with your horse is when you're brushing them. It's almost a sacred time. Obviously you're brushing them to clean them up, but you're also kind of inspecting there, getting all the dirt off, but finding out how their muscles feel, how like the the tendons and ligaments feel, how their mental state is. Maybe I'm going to find a spot that they're a little bit like there. There's a little bit of reaction with her, but it's hard to tell with her because she's also very friendly and very curious. She's like, "Oh, tell me, show me that brush." She's very expressive. See how well she moves forward there. Now, I'm really just maneuvering her for the camera's sake, just to show, just brushing and all that. But it's good to be able to move their feet, especially before you lose them and they move their feet on their own, just to guide them where you want. She hasn't had the saddle on her a whole bunch of times. We're probably still in the single digit number of rides on her. Maybe we're in a dozen or so by now, somewhere in there. See, I like to be real smooth, throwing my saddle up here. I don't like to slap. Stirrup hit her a little bit, but didn't bother her anyway. See how she just has no gumption to go forward. Or anywhere. She's just standing here on a loose lead rope. I'm just adjusting that saddle where it wants to be. There's a little adjusting there. Breast collar. So yeah, she's right there with me. Look how nice she leads up. And then here though, she'll stop her feet. See that? I stop mine, she stops hers. See how she's always with me, leaving slack in that lead rope. She comes forward. It's an effort. And that's after a there's a nice movement. We'll take that working cattle. Clear that front end out. Get the hind. Now you can see I'm just trying to stay steady and try not to get her, all riled up, but I'll take that movement. And I know she can move. And I address that when I work on and when I ride her today. Now I'm just touching her all over, making sure she's good with this. See how there's really no change in expression there? She's not bothered by this. And I'm not trying to get her bothered. I'm just making sure she's good with the flag, touching her, feeling that, hearing that noise, tighten her up again. And a lot of these things where I feel like maybe they're a little stiff, I can loosen them up with the groundwork and maybe even as I ride. I always hope that they start feeling a little better as I ride. This is one thing I'll do too, is I'm not trying to throw them off balance, but just make sure I can go left and right with that saddle before I get on, so I know that their feet are kind of aligned correctly, and see she didn't all of a sudden feel like she got pulled off balance. So I'm just setting her up to succeed here. She did this real well though. She followed that rein around really nice. There's a few times where I start reaching and she kind of started bending, so I just released. That's a little better bend there. Her ears are a little more level, like there. That's a little better. See how she started following that around? So that's why I just gave that rein back. I never had to let that right rein get tight. She followed that right around. Scary. Just by seeing. See, I'm reaching way out just to help her out and just get the hindquarters, and then working a little bit on the front. She kind of wants to race through and brace up, race through and brace up. So I just hang in there. That's not too bad there. Good, but even if you have a really good ride, don't expect the perfection the next one. But if it was maybe not the best ride, well, don't expect a bad one the next time, and just take it as little pieces of the puzzle here you're working through. Just one small step in all this. And reaching back and petting her. I like her expression, though, for the most part. Ears forward. I think here in a minute, this is all about just moving forward. And I always tell people, when they kind of get in a corner here, they want to steer them. I say, where do you think your horse is going to go? Go through the wall? Go through that fence? Like there. She's not going to go through that fence because I'm giving her somewhere to go. So I don't need to steer her. It's not about steering right now. It's about moving forward. Getting forward movement. I can't get anything done until I get forward. Now I'm going to work on the hindquarters just a bit again. Just reaching way out with that left rein, using my left leg back behind the cinch, back cinch. Say move over hindquarters. That was pretty good. So we'll switch it up. I don't want to just the whole time ask her to move out. And I felt like that's a little better movement from that. Better circle. I'm not having to pull on her as much. I'm just trying to stay with her, doing the best job I can to keep with her from getting rocked back on my seat so it doesn't trigger her to slow down or to even take off. That was pretty good. So I slowed my seat down, but I said, that doesn't mean you can just drag your feet in a walk. Keep walking. Let's go. She reads my seat really well as far as slowing down, which will be really handy someday. But I also needed to move her out. There, that was better. She didn't, like there, she read that seat. See how well she read that? I just sat down a little bit deep and got back, rolled back on my seat bones just a hair, and she read that. But there's a little better. There's a change. That's a little better. So I try to take that all into account, and hopefully what I'm doing is helping her. That was pretty good. Just a little movement with my leg, and she moved out. But then she slowed back down. I said, no, you got to keep moving. There. That's much better. The head never reacted there. I pet her. She lets me pet her back there. See how the head actually came down? There. See, it's just doing less to get more right there. Look at that. That's much better. There I said, you know what, that felt good. We could stop there. Give me a little back, which the back was better too. Just slightly better. There comes some softness there. She gave at the pull just a little bit. See, so just a big change in a little bit by just doing the same thing and just finding her, letting her find that spot where it's good. And I said, see, that's all you had to do today. That's it.